Good morning. I think we can do a little better than that. Good morning. That'll do. You probably haven't had your coffee yet. Hello everyone, my name's Terence Eden and I'm here to introduce you to today. And I'd like to start off with a quote from my favourite web designer, Charlie Sheen, who said, the acronym WWW is 6 syllables longer than World Wide Web. Which is true, so well done Charlie for pointing that out. And the reason I've pulled, it's probably not Charlie Sheen, it's probably someone a lot more clever than him, I've pulled this out, is there's an inherent mystery to the web, I think, which is we do these things looking forwards, and we do things looking backwards, and sometimes they don't make sense when we're doing them, but they will make sense when we get to the end. I'm not making sense now, but trust me, by the time I get to the end of this presentation, I will. So, first of all, let's have a look at where we came from. Before we can say what's the state of the web browser today, let's take a look at where we've come from. Hands up anyone who recognizes this. Oh, yes, right there. It is the Doomsday Book. Everyone go, ooh. You still haven't had your coffee. So, the Doomsday Book was written in 1086. And is one of the most important documents in British history. It records where everything was, who owned it, how much it was worth, how many pigs a person had, and it's a document for all time. It is still viewable now, 1,000 years after the fact. You can still go to Kew, and I recommend that you go and take a look at that this weekend, and have a look at the original Doomsday Book. This document, which someone has written, has survived. And how has it survived? Well, because it stuck to standards. It had a doc type of vellum, which is sheepskin. Sheepskin's incredibly long-lasting, lasted 1,000 years. A char set of 85591. Anyone know what that is? You can shout it out or stick your hands up. Anyone know? Sorry? Old English? No, this is before Old English. Latin, this is Latin 1, quite literally all written in Latin, and it had a very simple style sheet, which was you can crush up some lead and you can get red, or you can use some oak galls, no, I don't know what they are either, and that will get you black ink. And it survived forever, well, for 1,000 years. Now, a little bit of modern history. Does anyone recognize this? You've already answered, right there at the back. Back a little bit, not quite 2000. 1990? No, this 1980s. This is the BBC Doomsday Project. What you're seeing there is a BBC master computer connected to a PAL television, and that massive box. Oh, I can use my laser pointer. Awesome. That thing there, that's a Laserdisc player. Laserdiscs, for those of you anyone remember Laserdiscs? Yeah. Laserdiscs about this big. 300 megabytes on each side. Pretty impressive. Now, of course, the problem with this Doomsday Book is it was on Laserdisc. The information that was stored on it was NTSC video frames and weird proprietary technology, and by the end of the 90s, really, it had died. There was no way you could get information off the Doomsday Laserdisc and out of the Doomsday system. This beautiful extension lasted maybe 15 years and then died, buried in patents and obsolete technology, which I think is very sad. And that's something that we need to avoid doing when we're looking at the browsers that we create and the documents we create for them. Are they going to last as long as we need them to last? So let's skip forward to the modern age. I hope you all recognize this. Anyone? This is an interactive session, by the way. Yes, over there. I don't think it's HyperCard, no? World Wide Web, yeah. There we go. This is one of the first screenshots of the first browsers from CERN. You can see there, CERN. It does images, it does text and hyperlinks, and it was in black and white because the NEXT computers were in black and white at that time. But things didn't stay still for very long. By next year, living color. Ooh. Ooh. There's a tough crowd today. And then from there, well, the web just exploded. And now it's a law of PowerPoint presentations that you have to have an image which absolutely no one can read, and here's mine. This is from Wikipedia, and this shows the evolution of the browser. So right back there, you've got the very first ones, and then this sort of explosion with Internet Explorer and Mozilla and all sorts of things. We live in such rapidly changing times where browsers seem to come and go and really rapidly advance and then suddenly disappear. It's a very exciting free-for-all at the moment. But as some of you who've been doing web development for a long time will know, it's not always been plain sailing. Now, for the more sensitive members of the audience, you might want to look away now as I show you this next slide, because it's pretty disturbing. This is a slide from NASA, who were really one of the big proponents of the web back in the day. Brace yourselves. This website is best used using Internet Explorer version 4 or higher, or Netscape Navigator. And here's the worst bit. This website is designed with a combination of tables and frames. Boo! Hiss! Bad NASA. Bad NASA. They've learned now. But think about the pages that you're writing today, the sites that you're writing today. Are they making the same mistake that these forward-thinking bods in NASA did when you say, this site optimized for browser X, using technology Y and plugin Z, and using some non-standard way of doing things which we think looks cool, but in 10 years' time at a presentation, someone's going to be pointing and laughing at you. Oh, God. The horror. The horror. I think, has anyone got a badge on their site which says, best experienced with Internet Explorer, or Netscape Navigator, or Firefox, or Chrome, No. We design for the web now. It's very rare. It took me a long time, actually, with my elite AltaVistering skills to find these two images, because people are beginning to realize that what you're developing for is the browser, and you don't have any control over what a customer coming to your site uses. Old browsers never die. So this was a graphic mocked up 3 or 4 years ago talking about Netscape when Netscape was finally killed. But here's the thing. Netscape didn't die. It's a big secret because old browsers never die. There's one stuck on someone's computer which they don't want to upgrade because it works. We all know the problems of getting large companies to upgrade from IE6. This is my favorite phone. This is the Sharp GX10 with the OpenWave browser. And it still works. And it will still render HTML5, albeit slightly slowly and on a very low resolution screen. But the old browsers that are out there are never going to die. They are never going away. Take a look at your logs and see how many people are using outdated, outmoded browsers, and consider them when you're designing. New browsers are appearing every day. This is just a very short list from Wikipedia, who I've plundered extensively for this presentation. And I don't recognize half the names on here. Macthon, anyone using the Maxthon browser at the moment? No, but they had a very big release in 2011. Lots of people in China. Well, there we go. Anyone from China in? No. Anyone want to do business in China? Probably. You ought to be testing on Maxthon then. So, as I say, new browsers are appearing every day. We're going to be looking at some amazing ones today, Chrome and Firefox and IE. But just remember that with all these new browsers that are appearing, some of them are crap. I mean, really crap. I can see a few of you admiring my rather sexy timepiece there. Yeah, you like? 50 quid from eBay. Nice. And it's got it's a GSM phone, does text, does email, and it's got a browser on it. It's the Maui WAP browser, and if anyone really wants to tear their eyes out in frustration, I will let you look at your site through the wonders of, this isn't even a 1-inch diagonal screen. Just remember that as all these cool browsers which are coming out today, which run on dual-core, sexy MacBooks, there's also a whole load of people who are accessing the web through phones and old laptops and Kindles. The GSMA now reckon that more people access the internet, more people access the web via their phone than via a traditional browser. So when you're designing for Firefox, also take a look at Firefox Mobile. When you're looking at Safari, how does it work on very low end? Look at Opera Mini as well. But it's not all bad news. Where are we now? Well, I think we're beginning to realize that with all these beautiful, beautiful browsers and lots of cool new standards, including HTML5, we're in a position where we're no longer saying this page best viewed in IE4 or greater. We're saying this page best viewed with any web browser. And the reason that we want to do this is going all the way back to the Doomsday document. I'm going to depress you now just for a little bit. The content that you write today is going to outlive you. One day, maybe not today and hopefully not tomorrow, but someday soon, and then for the rest of your life you will be dead. But your content is going to live on past you. And to the browser manufacturers here, your browsers are never going to die. There is always going to be someone, somewhere, tinkering with a laptop which has your old browser on it, expecting to be able to access the web with the product that you've created. Your content is going to outlive you. Your browsers are going to outlive you. So it's on all of you to make them awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Welcome to London Web Standards State of the Browser. Thank you very much.